Awesome. So I am super excited today to be talking about collaboration books. And there's many reasons. One of them is what it's done for me. So I can only speak on what it's done for me. So that's what I'll be speaking about tonight. And I'll be sharing with you some different opportunities that you have to be in books that I'm currently working on, as well as the vision that I have for future collaboration books. And I'm going to share one of the titles with you right now, just because I don't want to forget. So one of the titles that I have for the future books is Women Action Takers with Healing Hands. And the reason I chose that name, and I tell you, like, just right up front, I'm a believer in God, and I was laying down to bed one night, and you know how you just cannot go to sleep no matter what. That's what happened to me. And I was just laying there. I was like, I can't go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. And this one vision just kept showing up. And so finally I got out of my bed and I was like, the vision was Women Action Takers series of books. So I will be launching a series of books after we talk about the two books that we're talking about today. But I just got up and I wrote it down in big letters. I have one of those not little, it's a big notepad like kids have, like this construction paper, is big ass thing, and I just wrote really big, Women Action Takers, who? And then my brain just started dumping out who this, who that, who this. And it was crazy. I have like 50 different ideas that had come up for different books for the future. So that's kind of like the vision of like where this is going. I'm super excited about that. If you can't tell by my voice, I am super excited about it. But I want to welcome you here tonight. Thank you so much for showing up. First thing I'd like to know is if you can in the chat, just let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I want to know, where we are and who's here tonight. And then what I'm going to do is when we get that going, I'm going to share my screen and just take you through. I prepared a little PowerPoint to make it easier for me to stay on track. That's really why I create my PowerPoints. So we got Phoenix, Arizona in the house, Oceanside. Is it hot up there? Because I'm down in Bonita and it is freaking like 800 degrees. Not hot up there, huh? Cool. And then what I'd like to know is, have you ever written a book? And if you have, is it like a solo book or is it a collab book? And just share with us the name. I'd love to know. So we have Houston and Dallas. Oh, you guys, I'm hoping that you are nowhere near that Hurricane Laura, I think it is, Lori or somebody. Why do they always name hurricanes with women's names? Why is that? I just don't know. Not yet, Sarah. Okay, cool. Not yet. I love that because a lot of times people will just say no, right? But no, you guys follow Sarah's lead. If you haven't written a book yet, write no, not yet. Okay, so follow her lead. So, okay, so I'm going to share my screen now and going to get right on into it. So we went through that question already. Awesome. I have what I think is going to be a really fun show. I like to call them shows just because it makes me feel like I'm on stage or something, So a fun show planned for us today, and just going to share with you what we've got going on here. So what I want to know is, what's your story? And the reason I ask this question is because we connect by story. I'm actually going to stop my screen share because I forgot that was my next slide already. See, so what I'd love to do is, if you can volunteer, you don't have to do this, but what I would love is like just spend 2 minutes. Like, I'm going to time it to make sure we don't go into like 50-minute stories, but just like 2 minutes, if you want to share your story. And there's a reason for this, is we connect via stories, especially when we're sharing our vulnerable points in our lives. And the two books that we have coming up that I'm going to be talking about tonight, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore, and The Fearless Entrepreneurs. Those are going to be you telling your story in those books. So it's going to be telling your entrepreneurial journey in the Fearless Entrepreneurs, and in Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore, it's going to be you telling your story of how like you felt invisible in your life one time, maybe 10,000 times, I don't know. But now you're feeling invincible, you're on top of the world, and you want to share with other people how they too can go from invisible to invincible. And that's what your story is going to do in that book. Sorry guys, Invisible No More is only for the ladies, but The Fearless Entrepreneurs is for men and women. So before we do that, we got Bermuda. Oh my gosh, you're in Bermuda? No, you're not in Bermuda, you're in Houston. But Bermuda is a nice place. And it's in a song too, right? Bermuda, Bahama. Okay, so let's see. Tish has been in 4 collab books and written 3 of her own. her own. High Heels, High Profits is one of the collab books. Oh my gosh, what a great name. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tish. And I'm honored that you're here to hear about these books as well. You were there about 13 years ago. Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. I've never been there. I love cruises, so I think I'm about due for a cruise in the Bahamas. Don't you think so? Or Bermuda. But that's in the song. So, but I do get scared of the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, I gotta admit, I have that little fear of the Bermuda Triangle. So does anybody want to volunteer to share a little bit of their story for just a couple minutes? Co-wrote a niche ebook as well as some music production. Ooh, awesome. I play bass guitar in a rock band. Yeah, so I love it. I love it. Tish, you've unmuted yourself. You want to share with us some of your story? Awesome.
Sure. In a nutshell, I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life. I started in the staffing world. I worked in staffing for years, and I started my own staffing company in 2000. Ran that up until the collapse of 2008 and closed it then. And after a short sabbatical, started another business, which is this business that I have now, and I've been doing this for about 10 years. The story behind that is when 2008 happened, we lost everything. We spent about 6 months on my brother's bunk beds with my, I have kids. 2 of my kids were in college at the time. So I mean, we definitely had to rebuild our lives, and crazily, I became an entrepreneur again. I started another business. I think I'm unemployable. This is just my life, and I absolutely love it.
I'm totally unemployable. I get you. I've had 49 jobs. Okay. So yes, I know it's a shocker, right? Sarah's like, what? It is. But, it's what I love about that is really entrepreneurship is a crazy mindset. But you know what? It's a crazy good.
Yeah.
It's a crazy good. If it weren't for entrepreneurs, I wouldn't have this phone. I wouldn't be talking to you now on Zoom, right? So entrepreneurs really are what make up this world. We really are the ones who are thinking outside of the box. We don't want to be stuck there. We want to always think about, like, innovatively speaking, how can we do something different to make an impact on the planet? And so that's what I love about entrepreneurship. And it took me, okay, so my whole life I was called weird and crazy. I didn't know it was a good thing until more recently. I'm like, okay, I own that. I am weird and crazy. And you know what? It's in a good way. So so thank you, Tish, for sharing. You want to share? So tishtimes.com, you guys can find her over there. Does anybody else want to share a little snippet of their life story in your whole life in 2 minutes? I thought I was the only one that was weird and crazy. No, you are not alone. Trust me. There's probably billions of us like that. Xanders. Do you go by Xanders?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do you go by W?
Will's fine. Yeah, Will. Yes, ma'am. I didn't even realize that was my initial on the Zoom. That's so strange. I haven't used Zoom in forever. So,
well, welcome back.
Thank you. This is fun. This is good. Thank you so much for having us all.
Thanks for coming.
All on. And a couple short years ago, I was in my 9.5 year of law enforcement, and I was just tired of being human target practice for criminals, basically. So I got involved in network marketing because I didn't have any preconceived notions. I didn't know anything about it, didn't know if it was a scam or scheme or whatever, but I did really well, made multiple 6 figures out of the gate. I retired 31 years early, and I have not had a boss in the last 8 years. And I've been at the top of several companies, but that's like my niche now. I could never go back to doing anything other than being an entrepreneur in online marketing. Just nothing else would fit. I'm unhireable now. I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tish
unemployable, right? Unemployable.
Unemployable. Yeah, we couldn't go back to work if we tried. It's impossible. I love waking up at the crack of noon. So there's that.
That's so funny. Just about 3 months ago, I decided I was going to change my life because I've been a night owl my whole life. Even when I was a kid, I would go to bed like at 1 or 2 in the morning, and my mom would be like, "You got to do your homework." I can't do my homework till after 11. That was my thing. And so about 3 months ago, I decided I was going to change my life and I was going to become an early bird. And I started waking up at 4:30 just to see if it would make a difference. And boy, has it! I get tired earlier. That's the difference it's made. So, but it's been fun. But yeah, congratulations on your success. And, you got to hand it to you. I just think anybody in law enforcement, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. I mean, even before all the unrest that's happening now, even way before that. Just, I can't imagine being a law enforcement officer. So thank you so much for your time serving in the service for us, because we need people like you who are crazy that will go do that stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Quick snippet? Sarah?
What?
Oh, okay, you're gonna have to tell me how to say your name. I'm gonna say Baba Tunde.
You're gonna go too far if you say that.
Do what?
That would be too much for you. I would suggest just stick to Baba.
Baba, okay, that's a lot
Just
easier.
stick to
Thank you.
Baba. And you won't make you fancy, call me Guru Baba.
Guru Baba, okay.
Yeah, anyway, nice to meet every one of you like-minded people. I'm very excited about this meeting and the opportunity to obviously collaborate and work with every one of you out there. You can sense from my immigrant, if I fake it, I will make it in Vegas. I'm from Africa. Specifically, I grew up in Nigeria. From there, I moved to England about, I think, almost 20 years ago. I was in England briefly. I went there to study, and from there I moved to the States. I've been in the US now for almost 15 years. I've lived in just different parts of the country. Dallas in particular, I was there for 2 years. Basically, my story is not any different from any other immigrant story. I always say that it's just the drive, to succeed. I felt when I came to the US, I had a couple of friends that said, "Oh no, what you need to do is go and get all this education and you'll be fine and you can equalize everything else. Nobody will worry about your accent, yari, yari, yari." So I went that path. And lo and behold, yes, I went to SMU. I got a fantastic opportunity. I worked for one of the biggest companies in this country. I succeeded there. But again, when I left, I found a void that I never felt before, which is 60 hours of my life was like that. I have never left entrepreneurship. It's always been a side gig for me. One of the things I tell people today is one regret I had was while I was busy building other people's dreams, I didn't put in enough time to build my own dream.
Oh, yeah.
I told myself the second half of my life, in the last 3 years now, I've been on my own. Basically, what I do is I build a lot of websites, I build a lot of digital marketing and all of those kind of cool stuff for people. And I pride myself in doing exceeding expectation in any work that I do for anyone. My journey is, it's a very, very interesting journey, and I hope that we'll have an opportunity to talk about it as we go through all of this. That won't take your time.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, Baba, Guru Baba. I remember. I hope I remember next time. No, but thank you. And wow, that's, so I was trying to do the math. It's like many people say years. For some reason, I got to do, so you're 35 years old. Okay, I got that.
That's good. Good guess, but I think you're way off the mark.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Sarah, did you want to share? I saw you reaching for that button.
Yes.
Awesome.
Hi. So 2 minutes would not suffice for all of us. I don't know if I can even make it, but I recently started on a journey with NLP, neuro-linguistics programming, and through that I was able to really deep dive into my own feelings and emotions that were silenced for too long. And I didn't know. I just thought that it was natural for me to stay quiet and not talk about certain things and just, like swallow in the emotions and kind of squash sadness and anger and things like that. When I started working on myself and discovering that these things were like, I got the opportunity to release these emotions, and they came up, and I realized I had kind of forgotten about it. Like I kind of intentionally deleted it out of my memory, thinking I just don't remember, and that I thought I had just bad memory. And all kinds of things came up, and now it's part of my story, from being molested at a young age and losing my mom at a young age, and all of that actually made who I am today. And I didn't know that that was what it was. And so I can't wait until I would want to share this story, because I can see how so many people, especially women, minorities can relate. And it wasn't until I spoke up that many people like, oh my God, I totally resonate with you. And that's when I started feeling like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one. I'm not the only crazy. I'm not,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, so I really don't know how I would be able to put these in words, but if I get help, I would love to share.
Well,
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And congratulations on going through that, because I myself didn't go through that until I was 51 years old. So not through NLP, but through my own journey that I went through. But that, going through that journey is something that each of us will or will not experience in our lifetime. And it's how we respond to it and react to it that's going to make the difference, right? So congratulations to you for going forward, and then now for being ready to share, because just like you said, when we tell our story, again, that's when people relate to us, but then also that's an opportunity to help somebody get on a different path. Maybe your words are the words that they need to hear. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, the reality is that the teacher is always there. The student just isn't ready yet, right? So I love to talk about that. It's like when the teacher is ready, the student appears. And I say that because I went through my journey as being a student for so many decades. And finally, I was ready to speak out loud. I was ready to share my voice with the world. And when I was ready and I put it out there, people showed up. And I was shocked and elated at the same time. And I just went and I did my thing, So it's really cool, because when we are willing to put ourselves out there, we don't know the impact we're going to have. Sometimes people won't tell us. I've heard like 4 or 5 years later, wow, I've been following you for all these years. Like, you have? Like, I didn't know, So it's really cool. We have an opportunity through books is one of the ways that we can do that. I'm going to share with you some of the other ways that you can also do that, and how the books actually work to help you to get your name out there. The books are really an amazing business card. So if you think about it as a business card, I'm walking around, I had my books right here, and I don't know what I did with them. I can't believe that. Okay, so I'm walking around and I have my books in my hand, right? And you know how if you go to a networking meeting or whatever, you meet somebody and they're shoving their business card in your face. Here, take my card. Just like stabbing you, right? Well, when you have a book and you're carrying it around, people are going to ask you, oh, what's that? Oh, it's the book I wrote. They're going to ask you for it, which is so much more powerful than it is. Like, they're going to ask you if they can buy it from you. They're going to ask if they can look at a few pages. Can I look at it? So they're interested in what you have because it's something tangible that you have in your hand. I bet Tish has a book handy right now that she could show us, because I don't have my books handy. Yep, there we go. See, she's got them. She's got them. And I had them here, and it was so funny. I was all ready to rock and roll. There you go. So you carry those books around, like this is my words. These are my words in here. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I want to thank you all so much for sharing your story, even though it was just a small snippet of it. And what I saw was a lot of heads shaking, which means that people were agreeing. See, that's why it's really important for us to share our story. This is my belief. I believe it's very important for us to share our story, because that's, again, how we make our connection points. So we went through the story, and let's see here. So what I'd like to know is, if you're a speaker, or if you want to be a speaker, go ahead and write that in the chat. I'm just interested, what are your aspirations? And if you never thought of seeing yourself speaking, I just think about why. What is it that would prevent you from wanting to speak? I'm just curious. If you want to write that in the chat, that would be fantastic. So I want to just go over what we're going to cover today, and I'm excited to get started because, this is my baby, this is what I'm doing. I'm sharing your voice with the world, and I love doing this. I've interviewed over 450 people. I've interviewed the president from Mexico. I've interviewed Les Brown and Jack Canfield, and it's some really amazing people, and I love sharing stories. That's why I do so many interviews. So first of all, we're gonna cover the visions. I'm going to cover what we're going to do today, but we're going to go over the visions that I have for the books and how you can be part of the vision. And then I'm going to share with you just really quickly who I am. I'm going to blow through this because we don't need to spend a lot of time on this. I want to spend time on the books themselves. So first, I'm a best-selling author, and I'll share with you, I'm a 5-time best-selling author. It didn't even dawn on me until on Saturday when my most recent book, Momentum, that we just launched on Saturday, became a bestseller in 5 hours. And I said, wait a minute, I have 5 best-selling books that I collaborated in one. I collaborated in 2 other ones, and I wrote my own. And this first book that I launched on Saturday was my first book that I put together. Like, I'm the one who created the collaboration. So 5-time best-selling author. And boy, I gotta tell you, it was so exciting. It's so exciting to become a best-selling author. So I'm a speaker, I'm a philanthropist, I have my own nonprofit, and I'll share that with you just a little bit, before we're done today. And then I am a red carpet interviewer. I've been interviewed stars on the red carpet. One of my favorites last year was Wesley Snipes. And the reason that was my favorite was because it was hard as hell for me to get him to come over to interview, but I literally grabbed him by the arm and brought him over and interviewed him. And so I earned that interview big time, So these are some of the people that I've met on my journey. I have, the Forbes Riley down there on the bottom left-hand side. She's a pitch queen, and she's sold over $2.5 billion worth of products. She actually is the star in our book, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. And then you may have heard of Jay Shetty. He does a lot of motivational stuff. And then this is Frank Shankwitz in the hat, and Mark Gold in the background. Frank is the creator and co-founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Frank was in my recent book called Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Changed the World. And Mark Gold is the producer of a film called Wishman, which I became an executive producer of that film as well, which is so cool. Jack Canfield, I had a pleasure and opportunity to have lunch with him for a couple hours, and that's another story in itself, a really fun one. I'll tell you if you want to hear it later on. This is me. I was the organizer of the Forbes #1 rated event called Secret Knock for entrepreneurs. And this is me. I had opportunity to speak on stage there as well. Me with Sharon Lecter. And these are just some of the people. There I am. There's the proof in the pudding that I did interview Wesley Snipes, okay? And so I've had the opportunities to meet these people just through the journey that I have been on. And it's been ever since I started my entrepreneurial journey, which was 6 years ago. Then I was like, in 2015, I was facing a fear every day. I decided I was going to face a fear every single day because I wanted to change my life. At that point, I had worked with a life coach, and she helped me change a lot. So kind of like the NLP thing, I used a life coach to do this. She helped me change a lot, but then it got to the point where I was done working with her. What am I going to do differently? I decided to face a fear every single day in 2015. I would wake up. First question I would ask myself is, what scares me? And then whatever was the first thing that popped into my head, that was the fear I was committed to facing that day. So I did. So during that journey was kind of curiously interesting, is my mentor was writing a book called Footsteps of the Fearless. And he's like, you're facing a fear every day. You totally have to be in this book. So I was like, okay, I raised my hand. I said, okay, $6,000 later, I was in a collaboration book. It was $6,000 to be in this collaboration book, my first experience with a book, and we became a national bestseller. So that was really awesome. And then my mentor, at the end of my year of fears, he said, so you faced a fear every day. What are you going to do about it? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I going to do about it? I faced a fear every day. Isn't that enough? He's like, no, you need to tell your story, because your story is going to really inspire and it's going to motivate people. You need to tell your story. So I did. And I wrote The Year of Fears, and it became a bestseller. And then I joined a couple of other collaboration books where I was the lead on one of them. I don't have the pictures of them today, but then I ended up writing this book, Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Changed the World. That book also became a bestseller on Saturday, just this last Saturday. The foreword was written by Don Green, the executive director of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And then I had, the UGG Boots founder, Brian Smith, in the book. So some really amazing people were in this book. And, it's just a great story, great storyline. So here's what's coming up. Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. So it's 40 inspiring stories from women who have gone from invisible to invincible. And then also the fearless entrepreneurs, fearless and be more. So that's the theme of these 2 books. The Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. It is intended, and actually all of my books are intended to inspire and motivate people to take action in their life, because nothing happens without action. I don't care how much you pray for it. I don't care how much you're going to manifest it. I don't care how much you dream about it, wish it, cross your fingers over it. It's going to be sitting there and staring you right in the face. And if you don't take action, you're not going to have it. So it's all about taking action. And sometimes action steps are small, sometimes they're huge. So I'll share really quickly about momentum. When I was putting this book together, I had so many times that I wanted to quit. What was getting in my way? There were so many fears. The fears of, wow, what if we don't do a good job? What if the book sucks? What if I don't know how to put it all together? What if I disappoint everybody? What if? So what happened is I would get to this point where I'm just going to give everybody their money back. And I'm going to just throw in the towel. I can't do this. I suck. I was beating myself up over all these things that were just imagined. And so what happened is I was like, I don't have the money to give them all their money back because I had invested in a ghostwriter. I gave him all the money. I didn't make any money off this book. I actually lost money off that book. And because I hired this ghostwriter to write the book, and it's an amazing book. And so finally I was like, okay, just keep going. Just make one step today. Just take one little step today. And so I did. I took one step every day. Some days I took giant leaps, but mostly they were small steps every day to keep myself going. And finally we finished it and we launched it. We became a bestseller. So that really is all about the taking action, right? So I learned so much more about taking action and creating momentum. If you think about a train, for example, when a train gets started, it's on the tracks, it is not moving at all. And then suddenly it starts to click, like the wheels go, they go make a whole circle and they don't move anywhere. They make another round and they still don't move anywhere. It's until they finally grab hold of that track that they start to chug along ever so slowly. Then it speeds up and it keeps picking up this momentum. So that's what momentum is all about. It's about, picking up the speed, but then sometimes we need to take a break and we need to stop at the train station. We need to refuel. We need to get some rest, and then we need to start over again. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that we've quit. It just means that we've slowed down a little bit so we can be more methodical about what we're doing and we can make more progress. So I was so excited to finally get that book out there because how many times I wanted to quit, man. But these other books, so now I know what I'm doing, man. And now I've got it down. I've got it down to a science, and I'm ready to rock and roll both of these books, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore, and The Fearless Entrepreneurs. But, I wasn't always into books. I wasn't always into, interviewing people. I actually have a fear of judgment, had a fear of judgment. And my judgment stemmed from my childhood. My sister, my older sister, is probably the most judgmental person I know on the planet. I have not met anybody as judgmental as her yet. And not that I'm looking for them, but I haven't. And my dad was a volatile, abusive alcoholic. So what happened is because of that environment that I grew up in, I ended up becoming scared of everything, everybody. I didn't talk to people. I just had so many fears about it. And it was mostly because what if I say something and they hear how stupid I am? Because my ex-husband he made sure I knew how stupid I was on a daily basis. You're so GD stupid. You're so ignorant. He would tell me this on a daily basis. Unfortunately, I believed him. So for me to come out of that into what I'm doing today is a huge move. It was at 51 years old that I hired a life coach. And my life coach was the one who started to unravel who I really am, the strong, brave woman I am. At 5 years old, I ran away and I was gone for an entire week. So she reminded me of how strong I was and brave I was at 5 years old. So when I'm starting to feel like I'm floundering, I tap back into my 5-year-old and I say, we're strong. We're going to do this. We got this, So I've been moving forward ever since. And it's been an amazing journey since hiring my life coach. And I came up with this saying, it was just last night. I was sitting here thinking, sometimes the darkness is inside and can't be seen on the outside. So we hide the pain well. Because if you look at these pictures, well, the ones on the little kids, those are my kids, by the way. They're not that young anymore. They're 36 and 37 now, so they're a lot older. But that's me in junior high and high school. And you could see the smile on my face. But inside was somebody who was dying inside, somebody who was tearing up. I attempted suicide when I was, I think it was 11th grade, attempted suicide. I was just a wreck inside. But on the outside, what you saw was this bright, shiny face, but that wasn't who I really was inside. So I share that because, we all have a story. We all have a story. Some challenges we've gone through. Maybe it's not the same story as mine. We don't all have the same exact story, but my story is the same as a lot of people. The question is, how do we come out of that story? What inspires and motivates us to move forward, to take an NLP course, to hire a life coach? What is it that inspires and motivates us to do that? It's usually in our darkest moments that we'll take that step and we'll say, I will do anything. I don't know what it is that's going to have to happen to change my life, but I'm willing to take that chance to do it. So that's my story. So I'm going to share the vision for the books, and I shared a little bit earlier how I see the books for the Fearless Entrepreneurs and Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. Those books, I envision those books both being published by December 31st of this year, December 31. And I say I envision it because things don't always happen as planned, but that is my plan, okay? And so with that, you would turn your chapters in no later than October 1st. My editor and proofreader they're like, really, October 1st? We could use them by September 15th, please. So they could get started a little bit earlier. I'm like, you just might have to work a little harder, okay? So I envision these books, being published by December 31st of 2020. Super excited about that. So how can you be part of these books? Both of these books are exciting books because they're an opportunity to share your story of how you went through the entrepreneurship journey. If you started your life as an entrepreneur and you've always been one, like, what is that like? What is it like to go through that? If you started later in life, what is it like to go through that journey? And how can you inspire and motivate people into their life to take the action that they're scared to do because they're inspired by your story? So first of all, is why should you be in one of these books? Well, there's actually quite a few reasons. I'm going to share them right now. So one is you get an opportunity to communicate or collaborate with a community of thriving, heart-centered people like you're here with right now. As you saw, the stories, we can all relate in one way, shape, or form to each other's stories. So this is the type of community that I build. I build these types of communities because I really believe that we touch each other through our heart, not through our hands, of shaking hands. That's not how we touch each other. I really, truly believe it's through our heart and our soul. And then also you're going to impact lives of people all over the world. So there are people all over the world reading my book, Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Change the World. It's super exciting to be able to make a change in people's lives by them picking up and reading your words on the page. And then also, you're going to gain visibility. And when you gain visibility, you automatically gain credibility. By becoming a best-selling author, it's an immediate credibility boost. So it's really cool because like I said, it was 6 hours. We became a best-selling book, and I immediately put that sticker on there and said bestseller, and I pushed it out there and we got a lot of notoriety from that. So it's really, really cool. And then also, there's speaking opportunities. When you're in a book, whether it's your own book or it's a collaboration book, there are opportunities to speak on the subject in which you write in the book. So for example, with Momentum, one of the chapters is about the ask method. So the woman in that chapter, she talks about asking, how asking can get you what you want. And so what's happening now is she's getting opportunities to speak to different groups about asking. Teaching people how to ask, because a lot of times people just don't know how to ask or they're too scared to ask for something. So that's an example of how you can get, I'm not saying you have to, because you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's opportunities to speak in front of audiences. Why is this a good thing? Because depending on what you're selling, whatever your own business is and what your projects, your products are, your services are, if you get in front of a group of people, you have opportunities to share with them your products and services. And if you know who Russell Brunson is, he is the ClickFunnels creator. He recently spoke on a stage and sold in 1 hour $1 million worth of ClickFunnels. That's the power of speaking. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen for you the first time you go out to speak. It might. You never know. I don't like to say it's not going to, because you never know what's going to happen. But those opportunities are there. And that's one of the things that a book does is it gets you in front of the people that you need to get in front of in order to be able to have these speaking opportunities. Another thing is it gives you an opportunity to pay it forward. Again, you're sharing your story to inspire and motivate people to take an action in their life that they're not taking. So if your story motivates them, let's say, for example, your story centers around, leaving your spouse as an example. Maybe there's somebody who's on the fence and they've been in a bad relationship and they've been wanting to leave, but your story, and this might sound bad, but it's the truth. Your story might be the kick in the pants they needed to say, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore. I am going to just leave. I'm not going to put myself through this. Because one of you mentioned about, living with, the only regret I might have is 2 weeks before my mom died. Now, my mom was in that abusive relationship with my dad for 55 years. When my dad died, the very first thing my mom said is, thank God the bastard is dead. Those are the first, I was standing right next to her when he took that last breath. Those are her first words. And so 2 weeks before she died, she said to me, Lynda, live your life with no regrets. If you're doing things that you don't want to do, stop it right now. If there are things you want to do that you're not doing, go do them. And I listened to my mom's words and I'm taking it to heart, living my life with no regrets. This is an opportunity for me to pay it forward as well. And then I share with you, I've mentioned that I am a philanthropist. 100% of the net proceeds, net sales of the books that goes to a nonprofit. And I'll share with you why, because a lot of people are like, well, do we get to make money off of the books? I'm going to share with you how you can make money off of the books as well. But the sales of books on Amazon don't really generate much money. Like if people buy an ebook, for example, I think we'll make $1.20 or something like that. Amazon keeps the majority of the money. So the net proceeds will go to a nonprofit called the Giving Angels. And the Giving Angels mission is to eradicate homelessness. So if you're on board with that, then this is a good project for you to be involved in because 100% of it goes there. Now, I will share the disclaimer. That is my nonprofit that I started, but also I don't make any money from that nonprofit. I am a volunteer, even though I'm a founder. I'm a volunteer. I don't make any money from that nonprofit. So just so you know. And then I want to share how I've been endorsed by Les Brown. So I'm hoping you can hear the volume here. If not, we're in trouble.
Can't hear it, Lynda.
Okay, I didn't think you would be able to. I thought I'd take a chance at it. Okay, I'm just going to tell Les Brown's talking about how amazing I am. I'll just share that. So maybe I can share that with you later, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. And then, so anyway, so this is what you get for being part of one of my books. There are collaboration books. Tish has been in many. Maybe she can share, how those worked, but they're all different. All collaboration books are different. There are no two that are the same as far as, working with people in them. So you'll get 20 copies of the book. That's a $400 value. And the reason for that is because you can sell your books for $20. Okay, so you're going to get 20 copies of the books. And right there I said, you can sell them for $20 each. I sell my books for $20 each. On Amazon, I sell them for less, but when I have the books in hand and I autograph them, I sell them for $20 each. And yes, you're going to get your book, you're going to autograph your book. It's so fun. And then marketing done for you. So here's one of the biggest challenges that I have experienced myself, and I've talked to so many people who have been in collaboration books, and that is with most collaboration books, they want you to do your own marketing. They don't do any of it for you. Now, there are some out there that do, but it's a much higher ticket price. So I'm going to share with you how ours is much more affordable. But we create marketing pieces. So we create content for you to push out. We do marketing for you. We create little videos for you, like your own little video that you'll have with your own commercials and stuff. And so it's a lot of fun. We create the marketing materials for you. And then you're going to have your own author website. And I have a link there because I was going to show you, I can't show you any of that stuff right now. It's not going to show up, but you'll have your own, there will be an author website, which is each book has its own website. So momentumthebook.com is the website for Momentum. And if you go look at that, you'll see where we sell the book. And then we also have all of the authors that are mentioned in there. And you get to have a bio as long as you want. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you want your bio to be mentioning everything you're doing, whatever, and then you can have links out to as many places as you want us to link you out. That's totally up to you. So I'm excited to share you with the world, every opportunity I get. And then you'll be interviewed on the Women Action Takers Network. and other networks. So for example, this last Saturday, we were interviewed on Women Action Takers, which is my YouTube channel. It's my Facebook page as well. But then I also have 4 other interviews lined up for the Momentum book. So there will be opportunities for us all to be able to get in front of different people's audiences. This is one thing I love doing because like I said, I've interviewed over 450 people myself. So I've made a lot of connections with people who conduct interviews. So I put myself out there and I search for these opportunities for us to be able to be seen and be heard by other audiences that you wouldn't normally get in front of. And then if you are invincible and or fearless and or both, so join us. So I'm going to share with you, there's 2 ways to join these books. Right now, the pricing that I'm going to mention is for 1 book only. There's different pricing for 2 books. If you wanted both, let me know and we can talk about that. So there's a pay in full option of $997 if you want to do that, or you can make payments. Now this is, I say for today only, and I do mean this because normally I don't take payments on this. Normally I do just the full $997. So it's payments. You can do a $250 down payment secures your chapter, and then 4 payments of $200 for every month after that. So if you're interested in joining and you want to get in full price, just do the $997. You can do a paypal.me/livinglive/997, and that will get you in there. Or I can send you an invoice. I can do it however you want to do that. So this is the 2 books that I have to offer, and I'm hoping that you're interested and will join us. And lastly, that's me, Lynda at womenactiontakers.com. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm here to answer any questions you have. So let's see. To speak on. Yes. Sarah says, now I would love to have the opportunity to speak on stage and share my story. Fantastic. I love it. Congratulations. It's time, Sarah. It's time. Because the more you speak, the more comfortable you get with it. But not only that, the more comfortable you become with your own story. Because I don't know about you, but the first time I started sharing my story, I cried. I cried many times. And now I don't. It's just, and it's like, it's just part of my story. Like you mentioned earlier, you're like, it's just becoming it. Yeah.
Right. I'm afraid that that's what I'll do. And I don't know if that means I'm not ready. But
do you mind if I share something about that?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So what's cool about that is it's seen in different ways. Here's what's cool. What I love about this is I'm a person who I don't go by judgment. So because of all the judgment I grew up in, like I have, I still have judgment because I'm a human being, but I quickly recognize, oh my gosh, I'm being judgmental right now. Stop it, and I move out of it quickly, really quickly. So here's my take on that is, if you want to do it, you do it. And if you cry, you cry. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter because you're making it through whatever it is you're making it through right now. Now, there are techniques. So for example, let's say you're on stage and you start to feel, you can just stop. You don't have to say anything. Just stop and just say, let me compose myself, or say something. Recognize that I'm having a moment here and I don't want to bawl, but so you just would stop and just like, take a breath and compose yourself and then keep moving. Keep moving. Don't let that frazzle you, because that right there is an extremely vulnerable moment.
It is. Yeah.
It's in our vulnerability is where we connect the most.
Yes.
Yeah. So allow yourself to be vulnerable. I've done videos. When I found out my sister had cancer, I did a video, and during that video, I started crying. And I just stopped, and I had like a crazy amount of views on that video. I wasn't going for views. But here's the thing. I was doing videos every single day because I made a commitment to somebody who asked me to. And so I was doing a video every day, and I had to do my video that day. And I hadn't yet. So that was the topic I chose, and guess what? It healed me fast by sharing it in front of people, because guess what happened? The outpouring of love and compassion for me and what I was going through was amazing, so that's my take on it. Anybody want to share any other take on that? And my dogs are going crazy. I don't know why. There's probably a fly out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I had I had death to the family just a few days ago. I lost my first cousin, and my brother posted a very emotional tribute to a cousin. She died of cancer,
Mm.
and I just was like, I was just lost for words, and that's all I wrote on my Facebook page. And there are people I've not heard from in almost 15 years, and the outpouring of love and support I have never. I mean, I tend to be one of those who is out there on Facebook and those things, but I was surprised by the number of people who reached out to just, just condole me, and that kind of helps me, making it easier for me to go through the grief in the last few days. So I agree with you that I think sometimes we hold back, and the world is more beautiful than we think it is a lot of times. And I think there are a lot of beautiful people around, especially in this age and time, who are just willing to reach out and say, hey, just let me know if I can do anything for you. So you're right.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Because, yeah, it's like you said, the world is a much more better place than we think it is, right? Yeah, yeah. And thank you. Sorry for your loss. Sorry to hear that. But you found a way to connect. And that connection, again, that connection point that we have is so valuable and so important as human beings, especially like in this time right now where we're sequestered, we're not allowed to go outside. And if we do, we got to wear a mask. We can't even see people's smiles anymore, And so it's crazy. So if the way we can heal through that is through, reaching out on social media or, through our words, it's amazing what it'll do for us. It really is. So yeah, thanks for coming forward. Awesome. We're here with you, Baba. Baba.
I think just to piggyback on what Sarah was saying, it makes so much sense from a standpoint of how emotional people get. And because we're emotional creatures, our feelings they're real, to us. And I was doing some speaking at an event maybe a year or two ago for my company, and I got really emotional and started tearing up because I'm handing out awards and watching these people change their lives and everything and hearing their stories. And I'm like, I don't cry. I'm a guy. I don't do all that stuff. The bottom line is when I did, just kind of let it go, and everybody else breathed this big sigh of relief. And they were going, what, Will, you're always like the leader. You're always the guy that never is fazed by anything. With the fact that happened because you were validating and celebrating other people, that made us feel like we can do even more because we don't have this high standard of not perfection, but this standard of emotional toughness that's clearly a facade for any real human being. So I think like Lynda said, it allows people to connect with us and resonate with us in ways that we may not have known they needed to in order for us to truly inspire them. It's hard for us to inspire people when we're so far beyond what they're doing in that particular field. But when they see that we're human, just like everybody else, we all bleed the same. We're able to impact a lot more people, and I guess that's what it's really all about. When Lynda put one of the things we can get from collaboration is impact, and impacting more people. So I think it's strong. And Baba, sorry for your loss, my friend. I know you're being strong with that. And Sarah, I think it's fantastic. So good stuff.
Yeah, and that's awesome because you sharing that is that you were on stage and you were giving awards to other people. You weren't even, it wasn't even your own story. Like you just had, what I'm guessing is there was like so much pride in what they were going through and how you were part of that, right? I mean, how amazing is that? Like when we change people's lives, and to me, there's nothing like it. I mean, to me, that's the bottom line. And I'll share with you, I had a coach, a business coach, and he said, I'm just going to share this with you. And I'm going to tell you, do not listen to these words. I'm just going to tell you what he said, because I totally 100% opposite of him. And he said, when people cry on stage, they're selfish. And I was like, what? This is a person who's not connected emotionally to himself, right? So yeah, it's like Will said, when I'm imagining, Will, that afterwards you got so many accolades like crazy, right? Yeah, you're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And
yeah,
I don't know how familiar everybody is with just the industry of network marketing, but there's a huge turnover. It's more than school teachers. But that day, looking back 3, 4, 5 years ago when that happened, that same organization, those same people are still with me today. And that was the day everything changed. The day we all became relatable and were really vulnerable and transparent. And I think with the right writing, if we were able to convey that level of authenticity and vulnerability in the collaborative, authorship, I think we could impact, more people. I think one of the things you said earlier, Lynda, was, I love business cards as much as the next person, but there's nothing like an actual book, for sure. I thought that was just wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank you. I got that from my mentor, by the way. He's written over 95 books, so I kind of listened to him a little bit.
It's like him and then Moses. I mean, that's a lot of writing.
I know, really. Hey, that's what I'm aiming for with my Women Action Takers series. You're like a book a day.
Let's do it.
I know,
I'm
really.
not in that book, but I support it. So let's get it. Yeah.
But you know what? Actually, you know how you can be part of that? I'm going to share with you just really quickly. Thanks for bringing that up, because one of the ones I wrote down is Women Action Takers Killing It in MLM. Yeah, so like them telling their stories, like their MLM stories and the journeys of, how they are killing it, So
yeah, we've got it. This is 80% ladies.
We can collaborate with each other on that. So I'll share with you how we can do that.
That's a deal. You got it.
Awesome. Fantastic.
We have the stories. We definitely have the stories. A young lady, just a quick story. She was in the medical field after graduating from Duquesne University for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
She got started with me in network marketing, and 18 months later, she's fully retired, multiple six-figure earner, and now works about 3 hours a day. So she retired 20 years early. And that's this industry is very powerful. There's no color, there's no gender. It's the numbers on the board, and whatever the computer algorithm says, it is truly equal. And I think that's why so many people, minorities, ladies, people of color, it doesn't matter. If you're a minority in America, you can succeed, online. And I remember Bob saying he does a lot of work online too. So I totally get it.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Yeah. Let's connect on that. Let's collaborate on that book. Okay. I got my guy. You can be our wild card.
You have a deal.
I call the guys the wild card. How do you like that? You guys are the wild card. Sarah, did you have a question or a comment there?
I have a question. So the chapters, is there like a limit to how long?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, so the chapters are 1,250 words, plus your bio is 180 to 200 words, depending on how long the words, I guess, but it ends up being one page. And then also your photos, you'll have a headshot that'll be on your bio page of the book as well. And you mentioned the book, the writing and stuff earlier, you mentioned that. So there's two ways to do it. And one way is that you write your own chapter. If you write your own chapter, it's at $997. Mm-hmm. And what that does is that gives you a proofreader and an editor. Mm-hmm. So they will look over your chapter, make sure it flows, makes sense, and then they'll bring it by you with any suggested changes that they have, and then you'll go through it, approve, yes or no, what have you, until we get a final from you. Now, if you're like, I'm not really feeling it on writing my own chapter, I'd really rather have somebody else write it for you. I do have a ghostwriter who's writing chapters for people who don't want to write their chapter. And for that, it's still against the 1,250 words still. But what they'll do is she'll interview you, and then she'll write your story for you, run it through you, and then do the editor and the proofreader aspect as well. If you decide to go that route, it's $1,497.
Total or separate?
Total. Great question. Yeah. So it's the $997 plus $500. So it's the $500 is what the ghostwriter is charging me to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you said 1,250 words, and then how long was the bio?
180 to 200 words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My goal again, is to get the chapters in by October 31st, and their goal is September 15th. I'm like, it's not going to happen. She's like, can you at least give them to me one at a time? Yes, I can do that. Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. I love Will's picture there. I mean, it's like awesome. Yes, Baba.
Yeah. So how does the idea of the name comes in? If you say you're a best-selling author and it's a collaboration, how does it work? I mean, I'm totally new to this part of this space. So how does it work in collaboration? Does it mean that you have all the names listed somewhere, or how does it work?
Yeah, so once when you're in a collaboration book, you are an author. So first of all, like I'm in this collaboration book, I'm now an author, right? So then when the book becomes a bestseller, every single person in that book is a best-selling author now.
Okay.
Did that answer the
I see.
question?
So basically, the book itself may not even have any name there, but may have one or two names in front. But you can claim credit like anybody else.
Yes.
That my work. That's my work.
100%. 100%. Yes. And you can, like there's some collaboration books where they won't let you publish your chapter anywhere else, but I don't care about that. I want you to, and this, you know, this is your writing, you know, this is your story. And so I don't have any restrictions like that. I don't believe in that. I think that's, to me, that's not an abundance mindset. You know, I believe in abundance. I believe in sharing as much as possible. So, you know, yeah, you can share your story everywhere. You know, I want you to share your story, you know?
I have another question.
Yes, yes.
So I'm also an entrepreneur. So if I were to participate in both, the story can be different, right? Like entrepreneur based and okay, got it.
Yeah, definitely. Let me give you the pricing on both. I have to look down here because you see. So the pricing on both is if you want to write your own chapter, it's $1,495. I should just do $1,497, so it's the same as ghostwriter on the other one. But it's $1,495 to do the two books if you want to write it yourself. And if you want the ghostwriter to write it, it's $2,245. So it's like a 25% discount, I think is what it comes out to be if you decide to go that route.
Okay, so your vision is to publish both of these books on the same day.
That's my vision.
Oh, wow.
Will it happen? I don't know, but
it happened.
Yeah, I have a team and stuff, so it's not like, you know, just me or anything. So, and then also, you know, part of the challenge, I think, in if you're not a marketing person, like Baba, you do digital work and stuff, right? So he's got this stuff down, right? But not everybody has the experience that he has. So, you know, we have a team that, like, I have a team who writes up the copy to say, hey, post this, copy and paste this on your social media. So you don't have to think about what am I going to write, because what I have found, and I'm guilty of this, if I'm involved in something, I'm speaking at an event and they say, hey, can you share this on social media? I want them to send me copy. Otherwise I will forget, you know, or some time will go by. So I know that a lot of people are like me in that respect. So I want to provide as many tools as possible to make it easy for you. That's the key here, is to make it easy for you so that we can, you know, I want to become a bestseller faster than 6 hours. I mean, 6 hours is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It can happen in an hour. Let's do that. Let's become we made it to number 11 in entrepreneurship, which was huge. In self-help, we made it to number 24, I think it was. And we passed up Brene Brown, which I was extremely ecstatic about because she was who I was looking at. Like, who are we? I want to pass her. Like, that was what I wanted. And we did it, you know? So it's cool. Like when you set your mind to something, as you all know, you know, when you set your mind to something, it's going to happen. Now, here's the thing. I talked about manifesting, hoping, dreaming, praying. I talk about that all the time because I realized that it was that action that got me the results that I've gotten. How do you think I was able to interview the president of Mexico in his presidential suite? It was because of action. I took action to make that happen. So it's all about that action. So I know how important it is for us to visualize. I have my visual. I know what I'm manifesting. I already know that. And I'm taking the action steps to make it happen. So I know it's going to happen. I know we're going to be number ones, but I can't guarantee you that because what if it, you know, I have to have that little 0.1% just in case. So I can't make that guarantee. But in my mind, I guarantee it. You know?
I would like for you to guarantee it because 1% doubt is 99% uncertainty.
Oh gosh. Well, I guarantee it to myself. Is that good enough? Well, what if I guarantee, but I can say I guarantee it, but not your money back.
No one's going to ask for your money back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but let's do it. You know, we're going to do 2 number 1 books on the same day.
That would be awesome.
We're going to set a record. My mentor, he's like, you're doing 2 books at the same time? You're a little bit crazy. I said, I know, I hear that all the time. I'm always hearing you're crazy, and I'm okay with that. But we're doing it. We're doing it. We're making it happen.
So I just actually bought Momentum on Kindle today. Would it be helpful to read that first?
It's different. So Momentum, I mean, it'd be helpful. Just that was written by a ghostwriter, 100%.
Okay.
That's a story. So that's like a story incorporating the authors into it. And so what these other books are is your own story in your chapters. Like it's only you. So it would be helpful still. I mean, but you help the charity make $1.25. So thank you so much for your donation. So that's awesome.
That was the best way to get it quick, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, but it's still helpful just to, you can see a little bit about me, you know, because it's told as if it's my journey. So I'll share it this way. It is my journey, just those weren't all of the people that played the parts in my journey.
I see.
So like I had a life coach, she's not in the book, but there's somebody in the journey that taught me something that my life coach taught me. So those lessons are actually, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that book was very interesting. Again, God sent me that book. And how I compiled that was through all the things I've learned throughout the last, several years. And those chapters, I sat for months just trying to figure out the titles of the chapters, because that's how important. I needed to get the right people into the right chapters. And that was the challenge I had with that one. So this one, though, like I said, you're telling your own story, Yeah. But thank you for buying it.
Of course.
Momentumthebook.com.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So any other questions?
Last question.
Yes.
I don't have a headshot, but.
Oh, there's time.
Oh, okay. So that's something that I can work on. Okay, got it.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, because the headshot is going to go in the book. If you don't get a headshot, then I just won't put anything there, because you know how sometimes you see like there's a circle with like photo not available. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm getting a headshot. I would say if I had it by probably October 1st, something like that. So that gives you a couple months to get something. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you sound interested.
I'm very interested.
Okay, cool.
Action.
Okay, cool. Well, you have any other questions, Baba, Will?
No, I mean, I want to thank you again. Just a few things to digest and get back to you to see how we can proceed.
Okay.
So let me, I always like to think through things. So I'll just go through, okay, here's what it is. Can I meet the deadline? Can I do this? All of those stuff. Let me just answer those questions in my brain and I'll reach back to you. But again, This is excellent group. This kind of group I like to, I gravitate towards more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for sharing. I got, goosebumps, thinking about that, because it's hard, the older we get. I mean, it's inevitable, right? What has happened. And my sister passed away 3.5 years ago. She was only 57 years old. And it sucks. That's one of those things. Like 6 years ago, I remember it. I was driving to work, my 49th job, working for a judge in the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. It was a big job. I was driving to work and I was like, what is the purpose of this stupid planet? Like, this is so dumb. Like, I don't even have any value here. I'd like to push papers around I was so angry with the world, and to be able to shift out of that into what I'm doing now. I mean, I love my life. I love everything. It's challenging. It's challenging on a regular basis, but you know what? I'm choosing it thoughtfully.
It's tough. Like I said, I just shared with the group. Hopefully it's okay. I shared what my brother wrote that I put on my Facebook that generated. I mean, anyway, I've always said that I'm one of those who, I don't get very emotional, but when I do, it seems like I just become a baby. I really don't know what to do. I mean, the saddest part for me, you see from the tribute there, a lady that was full of life and was doing a lot of beautiful things to help people. And the fact that I wasn't there until it was almost too late, more or less, it's a huge regret that I look back and, oh my God, I should have reached out much earlier. Why didn't I? And that, I'm going to probably take that to my grave because I'm going to keep thinking, why didn't you reach out when you didn't see her on Facebook for some time? Why didn't you ask for her? I never did until I just found out just about a week ago that she was down with cancer. I mean, I didn't know for a long time. I thought she was having a good time. She was doing well. I mean, you see the bio there that my brother posted it to me. I just shared with you. Anyway, it just reminds me of how we should at least be nice to people around us. We should sometimes ask people, hey, how you doing? Just checking on you, you know. I'm pretty guilty of trying to be wired about wanting to do everything and not worried about everything else. But sometimes we just take a step back and ask people in our lives, how you doing? Just checking on you. That's just what there is.
Yeah, without an ulterior motive, right? Like,
No.
I'm really just checking in, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. You know, thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us. You know, I one of the things that I hope I bring, you know, I do meetings for women twice a month. And when I do those meetings, like, my whole thing is like, this is a judgment-free safe zone. I want people to be able to feel comfortable sharing from their heart, because again, it's our heart that makes the connection and our soul that makes the connection. So when we can share from there, it's really, truly, I believe you can make an instant bond with somebody. And it's not like a sexual thing. It's not, you know, it's just this vulnerability for us to be able to speak from our heart. And that's when we immediately connect. And I connect with a lot of people because I'm totally 100% open to that, you know, to those heart connections with everybody I meet. And that's a new me, though. I'm only 6 years old. I'm still a baby. Like, I'm still growing. Yeah. Awesome. So there's you have a Medium. Oh, is that whose page is that? The Medium.
That's what my brother posted
Okay.
for the passing. So that's what I shared on my Facebook. You know, that kind of elicited a lot of conversations. So it's probably like just based on maybe just a very short tribute. You probably know you just know more about her than anything else. It's crazy for a girl. Just worked very hard in life. She died at 42, and that's just. And I said, this is not. I don't want to turn this to that. For that, just one of those. I mean, on Monday I couldn't do anything. I was just completely blank.
Yeah.
You know, I started picking myself up late in the evening yesterday, and even at that, I know there's a big hole in my heart. It takes some time for me to process.
Well, thank you for being here and sharing with us, because, you know, you could have, you know, not shown up and then not shared that with us. And so I just believe, again, those connections. So thank you for sharing. I have a feeling Will's got something extremely powerful to share.
Oh no, I'm just taking it all in. I was just taking notes. I just appreciate everybody sharing and being able to be on the Zoom with everybody. This is fun. I need to do Zoom more often.
Yeah.
But no, I was just gonna say, Lynda, not to make the awkward segue, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far. And if we can connect in an offline conversation, I want to do the one probably with the ghostwriter, because my time is the most valuable resource I have. So if I could interview and let them kind of handle that, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then I think just from a credibility standpoint and learning more about the collaborative authorship process is something that I'm looking forward to getting from this experience as well. And I see Sarah as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think it's great. I'm trying to think, who was our referral? Was it Lola or was it? I'm trying to remember who. I'm not
Lola.
even sure, but
I'd have
I'm
to
glad
look it
she
up.
did. I got to reach out and tell her thank you. So
yeah, well, thank you for being here. And I really am serious about us co-collaborating on the women action takers who are killing it in MLM.
Oh, we got them. We got plenty. We can definitely, definitely got stories that probably some of the most compelling, if I had to guess. But yeah, we'll definitely speak about that as well. But as far as this particular project with the Fearless Entrepreneur, I like it. I'm looking forward to adding best-selling author to the resume.
Yes.
And then learning a lot, acquiring some new skills along the way, working with you fine people. So I appreciate it. I really, really do.
Well, awesome. So I'll reach out to you. And just so you know, I am an open book. I wrote this note here. I said, are you an open book but haven't written it yet?
Okay.
You like that? No, but I am an open book. And so if you're interested in doing this down the line, just ask me questions. I'm here to answer any questions. Like I said, I believe in abundance. I believe in sharing as much as we possibly can to help make this planet a better place. And I'm doing my part, So
For
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
For sure.
So I will reach out to you, and because I have your email address and probably your phone number
Perfect.
too. And I'm just going to stalk you all over the place. Okay.
And rightfully so. By all means, I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It wasn't awkward at all, by the way.
No.
Yes.
Napoleon Dynamite. Did you see that?
What a classic. Of course I did. And I voted for Pedro. So there's that.
Me too. I got a vote for Pedro's shirt. What was his name? What was the brother's name? Kip. Yes.
Kip and Uncle Rico was those guys. Yeah.
Oh, if you guys haven't seen the movie
like
and you like goofy movies, I highly recommend.
Oh yeah. About the dance scene is legendary with the space boots, I think. So.
Okay, I could go on and on. We can go on and on about that movie. Okay, cool. Awesome. Any other questions or any thoughts, or anybody else have an awkward moment? Yes, Baba.
So just to Will, I think the only awkward moment is you wearing a UT Dallas shirt when I went to SMU. That's very awkward.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't know. Bob, well, I'm in Texas. I'm in Dallas, man, and SMU's good, but they're not UTD today. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna do better next time, I promise.
That's right. You guys are both in Texas, right?
Oh yeah.
Dallas and Houston. My son is in Sugar Land.
Good for him. Yeah.
That's just about 30 minutes from me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. 30 minutes drive. Cyprus.
I got a brother in Pearland. I love Cyprus.
Okay.
Houston's a good time. Now, Sarah, Sarah, where are you based out of? I saw everybody in the chat earlier.
So we're both in San Diego.
That's a beautiful place, by the way. That's a really beautiful place.
The guys are in Texas, the ladies are in California. Isn't that funny?
Oh, wow, San Diego, that's a beautiful place.
Gorgeous.
I just keep thinking I'm going to buy a house there someday. It's just a beautiful place.
Manifest it, make it happen.
Oh yeah, I like San Diego. That's a nice place.
My cousins live there and they never leave. They never visit. They don't come hang out.
I don't blame them.
San Diego. Yeah.
You're in Dallas. I've never been to Dallas.
Right?
I've been to Houston.
Dallas is a good time. Dallas is kind of like Houston, but not really,
Kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't have the hurricane that Houston is about to encounter.
That's true. Yeah, that is very true. So y'all be safe down there, Baba. I'm from Louisiana originally, so we are not strangers to hurricanes at all. So
they're getting hit right now. So man,
I always say that in life, people complain about these things. I say, I find that everywhere around the world, there's always something going on. All you can do is just know that at the end of the day, it's going to be well. It's going to be fine.
You called it.
So
that's true.
I don't get too caught up with. I know you have to stay safe. That's all you can do. You can't control so many things. Right?
That's for sure. That's for sure.
You got it.
You're outside right now. You're like on the beach somewhere. You're in private land, wherever you are.
That's a way of shielding, like you said, your vulnerability, right? Just have some montage and just make it feel like, okay, you're in one highland, like Bahamas or Bermuda. No, I'm in my room, stuck with my computer.
I love it.
Oh, Zoom can do that. I didn't know that. I learn something new every day. Thank you, Bob. I learned something new.
Remember, I'm an IT guy. Remember? Oh, now you change yours. Oh,
there you
that's better.
Yeah, I just learned. He did it. I'm in space. Oh, that's crazy. That is wild.
There you go. You're speaking on stage. You're speaking on stage. That one.
I know. I learned something from Guru Baba today. Thank you.
That's why he's the guru.
I just learned. Yeah, Guru just taught me something.
We all learn from one another. So much I've learned in the last 1 hour with Lynda and Sarah, every one of you. And
wonderful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, awesome. Okay, well, let's call it a night.
Yes.
And so Sarah, you're interested, and Will, you're interested, and I saw Tish was interested too. So So that's really awesome. And then Baba, I know you need some time, so just let me know. You know where I am. And again, I'm not pushy. I'm not going to stalk you like I'm going to stalk Will because he told me to.
Don't worry.
But yeah, so yeah, take some time and, you know, just thinking about just life, you know, what's going on in your life, and take time for you, you know, and just to appreciate the life you do have. And yeah, blessings to you. Well, to everybody, but especially Baba.
I have to go back and thank Lola for this. It's a beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here tonight. I appreciate all of you, and you know, for being here and being interested in being what, you know, doing what I'm doing, working on this project that I'm working on, because it's really going to change a lot of lives. And hopefully when Sarah reads Momentum, she sees how impactful, you know, that type of story is. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the other side. So what happens, just so you know, is once you join the book, then I have a Facebook pages or Facebook groups for each book. So all the authors go inside for in the Facebook group for that particular book. So opportunities to get to know each other as we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you all, and have a good night and stay safe.
Y'all too. Thank y'all so much. Have a good night now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye.